Hello, my name is Ashley Sellers. I'm a speech language pathologist and I'm the owner and operator of Speech, Language, and Beyond. I'm coming to talk to you today about spatial concepts and why they are important. So before we move on, I don't know if you've seen the previous video that I just did called What is Language? And it's important to look at that video because it tells us that there are two sides to language. Receptive language is our ability to understand and follow directions and to respond to things appropriately, to identify objects, to identify actions, to identify spatial concepts. And then expressive language is using verbal responses to tell what we understand through words and sentences and being able to answer questions and ask questions and giving the appropriate response when we're speaking in communicative exchange with someone. And that's where spatial concepts fit in. So spatial concepts sometimes are referred to as prepositions, and they tell where things are in the concept of space. Some examples of that are in, out, on, and under, just to name a few. And it's usually telling where a noun is. Spatial concepts are important because when children can understand spatial concepts, it shows that they understand things don't always remain in one place, and it also demonstrates that their understanding of how objects relate to space and their surroundings. So once children begin to demonstrate an understanding of spatial concepts, you can give them a command, go get your shoe out of the closet, and they will respond to it appropriately by going in the closet, pulling the shoe out and bringing it back to you. If you give them that command and they don't understand what out means, when they get to the closet, they may stand next to it, they may go in it, but they won't bring the shoe out because they don't understand the concept of out. Expressively, when children can understand spatial concepts and start to use them in sentences, it makes them a better communicator with you. So if you ask your child, where is your shoe? And they say it's in the closet. If you walk in that closet and you see that it's in there, then you know that they understand it and they can use it in a sentence appropriately, and it's making them a better communicator for you. But if your child is unable to do this, I have created an activity that is called Where is Jakaya? It's a spatial concept and sentence expansion activity. If you will notice from this cover sheet, the instructions are set up that if you are a parent or you are a new clinician who's just learning how to do therapy, it specifically shows you what to say and how to do it. So you've somewhat been provided with a script on how to use this activity. And so, if you're wondering if this is the activity for you, then what you need to do is if you've given your child a command to do something such as go get your shoe out of the closet, and they stood there and they looked at you like you're crazy, then this probably could be an activity that they could use to make them a better communicator. And this particular activity can be used with children that are 2 years, 6 months old, up until a child that is about 7 years old, or maybe even a little bit older, depending on what skills they need to work on. So here is an example of the first page of this book. And if you will notice, there are two spatial concepts that are being targeted on this particular sheet. It's in and front of. I created it this way because you want to see whether or not your child is able to distinguish between two spatial concepts, and it'll let you know what they understand and what they don't understand. So if you want to work on this receptively, which means you want them to show that they understand it, you would get this sheet, place it in front of them, and you would say, where is Jakaya in the kitchen? Or show me the person that is in the kitchen. They should point to Jakaya that's standing in the kitchen. If they don't do that and they point to the girl that's in the house, or they point to the girl that's in front of the car, then you lead them to the correct picture, and then you take that opportunity to review each spatial concept with each picture individually. So you would start with the house and say, here is Jakaya. Here is the house. Jakaya is in the house. Here is Jakaya. Here is the kitchen. Jakaya is in the kitchen. When you're doing this, you're showing them The only thing that you're requiring of them to do is to listen and to watch where your fingers are pointing so that they know distinctly what in is and what front of is. And you would do the same thing with front of. Here is Jakaya. Here is the car. She's in front of the car. Here is Jakaya. Here is the door. Jakaya is in front of the door. Once you've done that, then you can go back and review that skill again and ask them to point out those pictures to you to see if they're ready to move on to the expressive side. So here's a second page in the book, and it covers under and on. If you feel like they can already identify it and you want to use this particular product expressively, then you would take this paper, put it in front of them and say, point to a picture and say, where is Jakaya? So if you were pointing to Jakaya that was under the bed, they should say to you, under the bed. If they give you an incorrect response, you'll provide them with the correct one. If they give you the short phrase under the bed and you want them to expand that sentence so that it's longer, then you say, yes, Jakaya is under the bed. Where is she? Giving them an opportunity to repeat it the way that you said it in a full sentence. So this is how you're going to use the rest of the book. The other spatial concepts that are targeted are out, off, behind, beside, between, and through. And there are 2 concepts per page, and you can present it the same way. Well, here is another activity that is called Where is Jakaya Too? This particular activity is an add-on set to the original that allows for children to be able to continue working on this skill, but it's in a more hands-on fashion. And the reason why it's hands-on is because it comes with a set of pictures, and then each individual concept has its own page. And it just allows for them to be more hands-on. And I'm actually going to give you a demonstration towards the end of this video on how to use the first one and how to use the second one. So if we look at this picture here, here is an example of one of the sets of pictures that you will use. You will notice that these pictures are outlined in a yellow border. What you're going to do is laminate this page first. I suggest using cardstock paper. You're going to laminate the page first, and then you're going to cut out the pictures. When you cut the pictures out, if you want to keep up with them, what you want to do is to put them in a pile according to the spatial concept, so it makes it easier for you to be able to get back to it later. So you're going to laminate this page, cut out the pictures, and then put them in a pile so that you can find the concept you want to target without everything being mixed up. So here's an example of the page that you're going to use these pictures with. So on this page, we have in. We have the picture of Jakaya that's in the house. And what you're going to do is review that skill with them, find the pictures that go with in, mix them in with another set of pictures that's not in or whatever, and ask them to find the pictures that go with the sentences that are in the square. Once they do that, then you're going to pick that picture up and try to get them to say the sentence that's in the square. So that's what you're going to do. These other pages that you see are just other examples of how it's being used in the book. And once this is done, like I said, I'm going to pretty much give you a demonstration on how to use it. But I just wanted you to see the book, how it's set up, and this will let you know whether or not you're interested in using this product. I always include a free download of a sample of the product. So let's just say it might be the first 2 pages and you look at it and you think you might want to use it, then you have that free sample. And then if you feel like you want the whole thing later on, then you're able to go in person. I thought that I'd come by very quickly and show you a demonstration on how to actually use this product, just in case the review that I gave on it before was a little bit confusing because you couldn't see it. So if you look here, this is called Where's Jakaya? This is the one that was created about 2 years ago, which is the original version of this product. Like I said before, this instructions page is set up as a script so that you know exactly how to present the material and what to say to elicit the correct response to target expanding their sentences, getting them to express spatial concepts through words and sentences and being able to identify it to work on the receptive piece. So I have mine double-sided. Just as a side note, this is cardstock paper that has been laminated. And I normally I think I printed these out front and back so that way I wouldn't have to use up so much of my paper. But if you want to address this skill, the receptive parts of this skill, then you would place this sheet down in front of the child and you would say, where is the girl that's in the kitchen? Now ideally they should point to her, but if they point to this one instead, then you simply make the correction. No, this girl is in front of the car. This girl is in the kitchen. And then because they pointed to the wrong one, that's already your indication that they're unable to distinguish between in and in front of. So you stop there and you take the time to be able to review each spatial concept. And you may have to stay here for a week, for 2 weeks, but you review it until they get it right. Don't be nervous if when you ask them to show me the girl that's in the kitchen, they point to one of these down here, which is incorrect. If they don't get it right the first time, because it's a skill that you want them to work on. It's about the process of them learning how to identify or distinguish between in and in front of. So at that time, what you would do is say, girl, house. The girl is in the house. Here's the girl and the kitchen. The girl is in the kitchen. Where is she? In the house. Where is she? In the kitchen. And you would do the same thing for front. Okay, so that's how you would review it if the child had difficulty identifying these pictures, which is a receptive language skill. The next thing that you want to do, if you want to target the skill expressively, what you're going to do is still put this in front of them and point to a particular picture and say, where is Jakaya? And they should say, in front of the car. If they give an incorrect response and say, right there, or by the car, then you correct them and say, Jakaya is in front of the car. Where did I say she was? And they should repeat in front of. If they don't, you say it again. She's in front of the car. Let's say they did say she's say the right spatial concept, but they said it in a phrase, front of the car. If you want to expand that phrase into a sentence and you say, where is Jakaya? And they say, front of the car, then you would take the time to say, that's right. Jakaya is in front of the car. You're modeling a sentence and giving them an opportunity to extend the sentence. You can either ask them to repeat or just leave it there and continue to review it that way. So this is how you're going to treat the rest of this part of the book. And just to kind of give you an idea of what the other pages look like for this book, that's the one for under the bed. You have under and on that's being targeted on this one. You have behind and beside that's being targeted on this one. And you also have between and through, out and off. So that's the rest of the pictures for this particular book. So I also created an add-on to this particular activity because I wanted the activity to be more hands-on and to be extended and give them another way to target this skill. So here is the cover page where it's Jakaya Too, as you saw in the video. And here are the pictures that I was telling you about. So I've cut all of them out and I have them sorted according to the spatial concepts that's being targeted. It kind of goes in the order of the book, and I have them bound together with this clip. So here are all the pictures that I was telling you about. Okay, so let me give you an example of how you're going to use it. So the first one that we're going to target is in. So let me show you the page for in. So we look right here. We see the picture of Jakaya in the house and the word in that's written here. If you look here at the bottom, we have 3 squares, yellow squares, that actually contain the sentence of the picture that you're trying to get them to find. Okay, so you lay this sheet in front of them. Here are all the pictures for in, right here. But to make it somewhat harder, and you don't have to do it this way, it's normally what I do. I'll take the pictures for in front of, and I will mix all of these pictures together. I'll mix them together by putting them in a pile in front of the child. And I'll say, look, Jakaya is in the house. Where is she? In the house. Now, I want you to look at your pile of pictures, which are these. You're going to have them laid in front of them. And you're going to say, give me the picture of the people in the pool. And they will have to look at each picture individually to see which one you're referring to. And you will tell them again, give me the picture of the people that are in the pool. Ideally, they should pick up this picture. You take the picture and you put it on top of the sentence where it says the people are in the pool. And then once you do that, you ask them, where are these people? And they should say, in the pool. Now that's the expressive portion that's being targeted. And now they're having to tell you that word in a sentence. And that's what you would do for the rest of the pictures. So here's the page for in front of. Here's the page for behind, under, on, out, beside, between, and off. Okay? So that's pretty much how it works. I hope that it's a product that you're interested in, and that you will go to my website, www.speechlanguageandbeyond.com/products, and download the sample. And if you like the sample, then go ahead and purchase the entire product. Once I have received payment, I get notification by mail, and I will email the documents to you. If you have any further questions or concern, feel free to contact me at speech.therapy@speechlanguageandbeyond.com. And I hope that this was useful and helpful for you. Thank you.